Oh, hey, and we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight-up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. As usual, it's me, Jake Baldino. Thank you guys for being here, stopping by. Today we're talking about Deathloop. This is a Bethesda and Arkane game, and it's a timed PS5 exclusive that's also on PC. Now, we've been playing a review copy of the game, and this footage, so you know, is spoiler-free and captured on PS5. Straight up, I enjoy Deathloop a lot. It's got some weird issues, and you know, your level of tolerance for some of those things might differ based on your preference, but ultimately I came away surprised by just how much I enjoy this game. The setup seems a bit confusing, and I'll take some time to explain it, especially because like when I first heard about the gameplay loop, like when it was described to me, I was like, I don't know about that. That doesn't sound that good. But it turned out to be a great experiment because it's simpler than it seems, but it's really, really fun. So in it, you are Colt, and he's this guy trapped in a time loop on this mysterious island of Black Reef. He has one full day, and then he wakes back up on the same beach, and everything is reset. Same if he dies. He just dies and lives again. The entire island is filled with these crazy murderer people, and partiers, and mad scientists, and the 8 leader visionaries, who all kind of maintain this never-ending time loop. The only way to break the loop is to kill all of them in one day. Now, the visionaries appear in various places at various times, and the game's full day loop is essentially structured in chunks. There are 4 fairly large playable, explorable maps that you load into, and every time you load into the next one to do something else, it progresses the time of day. So like when you're in gameplay, time doesn't move forward. It only moves forward in this like structure menu-like way. So you can load into a map during the day and explore and find goodies and stuff, and then load back in at night or at a later point, and it's totally different, and maybe an enemy setup shop or something like that, and there's more. You get what I'm going for there? So like, you know, the different times of day and all the enemies that you have to take out and then moving around, it seems like it's almost like this super open-ended thing, and it's almost Hitman style, and it like half is. The game almost kind of over-explains itself to you at the start, but once you get going, it gets more simple, and most importantly, like more fun. Essentially, to make progress in this game, you can track and follow different kinds of leads. There are arsenal leads, which you can click on and in a menu and track and follow to get cooler and more powerful weapons and special super abilities called slabs. Then there are information leads you follow and work through, and these progress the story, build out the world and information, and allows you to access new areas, do different things, or learn how to draw out or take out someone in a particular way. All of it sounds a bit different, but what it does is encourages getting to learn the ins and outs of all the levels. There are tons of secrets and side things to pursue, as well as just you know, things being different in different times of day. Every new mystery or lead or whatever you pursue, any time spent in any of these areas always ends up being rewarding for a while because you're working to improve your character and your stuff. So even if you die or you end a day, you don't have to lose all of your stuff if you're good enough. You can collect currency to spend on infusing certain items and upgrades, which allow Colt to keep them even after the loop resets. The prices are often steep for some of the stuff. Like if you want to infuse a weapon so that you get to keep the weapon for the next loop, you got to put a lot into it, and you are going to have to make decisions a lot of times. You're not going to be able to get and take everything you always want, but it makes for a really satisfying loop, for lack of a better word, a gameplay loop. You're collecting different weapons with different perks and rarity levels. You're also picking up weapon trinkets that are like attachments for your weapons to allow for stuff like greater accuracy, less recoil, and you know, more weirder things that are fun to discover. Then you also have your own perk attachments for Colt himself that give him faster sprints, a good old-fashioned video game double jump, faster health regen, stuff like that. Then for your super abilities, the slabs, you can eventually give them an extra one, like an extra bonus or ability to make them stronger or just completely change their purpose. So with all that being explained, yes, I found the game itself really fun because sometimes you're just going back to kill a boss again to upgrade one of your abilities, or you're going back to open up a safe that you found the code for on your last loop. The way the game encourages screwing around is just really fun. It always manages to feel productive even when you're not necessarily gunning for the main thing. And the best part is that like the whole thing, the whole pursuit through the loop over and over and over again. The one thing that you really get to keep that's more important than just like a gun or a trinket or a little booster is actual information. Knowing what's going on in the world, learning a new secret, and all of it being tracked in your in-game journal. Now you have the option to play things sneaky or go in guns blazing, and both work fairly well. The shooting feels pretty damn good. It's definitely an upgrade for Arkane with like these loud chunky guns and good feedback and some cool sound effects. We did play the PS5 version. We're not the best with the controller here. We were kind of hoping we could play it on a mouse and keyboard because this style of game really begs for that type of thing. But the sniper is the one thing that doesn't always feel the best. But otherwise, like shotguns and stuff and blast and dudes, all that does feel really great, especially combined with those slab abilities. Some of which, you know, might be familiar if you play Dishonored. There's Shift, which is essentially like a teleport, or Blink, which immediately opens things up to you creeping around on rooftops and getting into all kinds of crazy trouble. You can go invisible. You could do like a force push or slam. You can chain enemies together so that if you kill one of them, they all die together. All stuff that encourages a little bit of messing around in the world and seeing what happens. Cult is extremely nimble and fast and can just do cool melee kills or shotgun blasts while zipping up to rooftops and tossing grenades or setting off hacked turrets. It can be a lot of chaos, and it's fun to watch it unfold because it's just so fun to play. Some of the guns are really creative too. I just wish there were a few more. Now, if you're looking for it to play exactly like Dishonored, like even I mentioned those abilities, I wouldn't say to get your hopes up. It's not as elegant as Dishonored or Prey, but it is more bombastic and wacky. Stealth is really simple here, not a lot to it, but it's effective. And guns blazing, you know, not too much to it, but it's satisfying. And in the hands of like the right player with some good slab abilities and skills and weapons, it can be pretty awesome. Like you've probably seen the trailers where players do these like crazy kills with the abilities, or they're just doing like hyper accurate headshot shooting and all that stuff. You can actually pull that stuff off in the game. It's not like false advertising. And when you do, it's pretty fun. That being said, the enemy artificial intelligence is usually really, really bad. They're pretty dumb to sneak around and are so easy to just kind of bait in some shootouts. You can die fairly quickly here, but you can also just kind of cheese your way around some shootouts and just blow enemies away. Sometimes it's kind of embarrassing, and I think for some players, they're going to have more of an issue with it. This is the thing I mentioned early on. This is kind of one of the bigger flaws. There are a lot of other things going on in the game, so I understand why maybe the artificial intelligence didn't get like the biggest focus, because at the end of the day, they're just mindless fodder in this stupid world. They know that the time is going to reset, and when they die, they're going to come back too. But still, I think it's worth mentioning. You know, at the very least, I usually play stealthily. So like if I'm headshotting you from a rooftop with a silenced pistol, I don't really care how smart you are. But thankfully, the visionary AI seems to be a bit stronger, as well as Juliana's, which let me explain her. So there's a woman tied to Cult in the story named Juliana who also messes around with the loops, and she's been hunting you and killing you for a long time. So every so often in a world, you'll get a notification that Juliana is here and hunting you down. This is usually another player playing as Juliana. Sometimes it seems like it can be artificial intelligence as well. And just so you know, you can change your settings so that you can only be invaded by friends if you want and not randoms. But this works as a great shakeup to whatever you're trying to do in a map. It's like an extra level of chaos because she can show up and screw you over, and you can't technically leave the map until you take her out. Thankfully, you can get killed twice and bounce back. It's kind of like a story thing with Cult, whereas you just need to take her out once, and then it frees you up to leave the map again. And if that player, Juliana, happens to just have like a really sick gun, then it's yours. And that can really shake things up. It makes for some really, really great games of cat and mouse in the maps, which are very well designed for it, very intricate, and just really encourage that stuff. Sometimes you get killed in like a bullshit way, or like a sniper hit to the head and you don't know where she came from, but it's always pretty cool. I don't usually like these mechanics much in games, but I really like how it works here. It's only annoying once in a blue moon. And so on the flip side, you can choose to back out of the menu and choose to defend the loop as Juliana instead of breaking the loop. And you can matchmake into random people's games or your friends. Juliana is like a separate thing with her own items and unique abilities to send enemies towards Cult's location and also disguise herself as an NPC. It doesn't like work the best because players just have to look for an NPC that's acting weird, but in some contexts it's cool. Playing as Juliana is fun for a little temporary diversion if you want, but more importantly, it's rewarding to the main game. Juliana has like her own kind of achievements and scores to work through and check off lists and earn points, and you can get more stuff for your main game like skins and weapons and whatnot. I got a really cool skin for my cult. The game wants you to play as her sometimes because the rewards are fairly generous. Story-wise, you'll notice I haven't mentioned much yet because the gameplay is front and center here. There is a story, and how it unfolds towards the end and all of the science stuff behind all of it, it might not be like the most amazing thing, but the characters within it, specifically Colt and Juliana, is where the game really shines. They have some really damn good voice actors. Some of the writing can be a little awkward, but when it hits, it's actually really surprisingly funny. There's some really good funny moments and some good heartfelt moments throughout, and a lot of the exchanges are just really good. The only other issue I had with the game were some bugs. Sometimes in the menu, it would hang up when I paused the game, and it would get stuck in pause, and then I would have to restart the game. Also, the occasional frame drops on the actual 60 FPS mode on PS5 were a little disappointing, and screen tearing during some cutscenes was pretty weird to see. Despite that, this is totally a game I really enjoy for like the layers and the absurdity. It's like Dishonored Light with an emphasis on screwing around more and murdering dudes just for like the sheer fun of it. And it's all designed like a little complex Rubik's Cube with you slowly finding and locking in abilities and weapons and shortcuts around the map, and ultimately how to beat the bad guys. But it does it in a way that's not completely open-ended. It's got like just the right amount of guidance to keep things always interesting without always just completely holding your hand like a little baby. You know what I mean? You're going to be getting through this game anywhere roughly from like 12 to 20 hours depending on how much exploring you do, how much invading you do, any side stuff, how you take your approaches. Some people play these style of games really slowly with stealth. Either way, this is a game where I thought the vibe and the violence was cool, but I was skeptical of how it was structured. But after playing it, I'm glad I've been proven wrong. It's creative and really ups the fun factor. I don't know if it'll be considered like Arkane's best game, but it's another weird and risky one, and I really enjoy it. But of course, that's a before you buy. I give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinion, and now I want to hear yours down in the comments. Were you looking forward to this game? Maybe it wasn't on your radar at all. Did you not understand how the game actually worked? Did I explain it okay? Maybe now you get it. There's a lot to say about it, so we're looking forward to hearing what you guys think down in the comments. As always, if you got anything else from me, be sure to hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Baldino. But if you enjoyed this video and maybe it helped you out or informed you or anything like that, clicking the like button is all you got to do. It really helps us out. And if you're new, consider subscribing because we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.